Hi, my name is Anushka and I am the co-MD for Girls in Tech South Africa. I'm joined by my co-host Kiara, who is a medical student at the University of Pretoria and also a Girls in Tech member. Our guest for today is Nosizwe, and Nosizwe is currently a data migration analyst at Old Mutual. And today we will learn more about Nosizwe's background as well as what a data migration analyst does. But before I hand over to Nosizwe to introduce herself, I have to share a little story because it's really inspiring. So I met Nosizwe a few years ago at at the AI in Africa conference, and the AI in Africa conference was meant to upskill 1 million girls in artificial intelligence, and this was run by the Kgalema Motlanthe Foundation and Flipton. And Nosizwe was a coach and mentor at these events, and her teams always came out in the top 3. So Nosizwe definitely has some secret sauce that she's been sharing with the young talent in our country. So Nosizwe, over to you. Please give our audience an insight into who Nosizwe is, as well as how you ended up in the role of a data migration analyst at Old Mutual.
Thank you so much, Anushka and Kiara, for having me. It's a great opportunity. So my name, as you already mentioned, I'm Nosizwe Mxobo. I was born and bred in Cape Town, here at Mkhonto. It's an informal settlement in Yanga East, one of the areas with highest crime rate in Cape Town. So it was not an easy upbringing at all. My mom had us when she was in her 40s. So by the time we started high school, myself and my twin brother, she was in her 50s and she never went. So we were relying on her grant that she was receiving on a monthly basis. So what happened was that, but there's one thing that she instilled in our upbringing, which is the belief in God and knowing that everything is possible. There is nothing that is beyond control. So there was a belief that has sustained me for years. So I studied through high school, and then I completed my matric and went to further my studies at CPUT. I did financial information systems and up to BTech level. So after that, I received an internship at Parliament. So I worked there for 3 years. But now what happened after that my contract was terminated. So I was so devastated. I was without a job for almost 2 years. So by then I had to kind of downgrade my standards because I was really struggling to find a job. Then I went into sales. So I was a sales consultant for about 3 years in the Eastern Cape. But I will never forget a day that I received a call from one of my seniors at Parliament, where he said that I heard that you are wasting your talent selling stuff instead of coding. So that was the day that changed my life, because back then he was a manager, and then he said, okay, it's fine. There is an upcoming position and I would like to apply for it because I know that you can deliver. So that's how I went back into IT and then came to Joburg. So I worked in Joburg for about 7 years. Then I joined Old Mutual in 2018 as a lead analyst programmer. So when I went back into Cape Town, because of my previous experience, then I had to be strategic. So I set myself goals and say that I need to make myself visible, because I was a hard worker and that was not enough. So I had to make myself visible and also take charge of my career. So which is what I did. Then I got involved in projects that were not related to my day-to-day work, as long as they were adding value and will afford me an opportunity to meet other amazing people within the company. So that's how I got my my current role. Because what happened was that a friend of mine and a mentor have approached me towards the end of the year and told me that there is a great initiative that Old Mutual is sponsoring. And now they are looking for a young female who can share her story with the young girls from Soweto and who will inspire them to join IT, as so many VH to motivate them. So I was so happy, and then I grabbed the opportunity with 2 hands. And then fast forward to December, there was an event. We all went there as the company, and my CRO was there as well. So I delivered my speech, and according to me, it was not the best at all. It was terrible. But I'm glad that something good came out of it. So after the event, my CIO approached me and said that I was so inspired by your story, and you are a brave woman. So there is an upcoming project, and I want you to be part of it. So that's how I joined the project, and then I was part of the data team. So 2 months into the project, I was still not clear exactly as to what my role was. So there was an opportunity that presented itself. So there were few countries and segments that were lagging behind in terms of delivering their data. So I volunteered. I didn't even know what the job entails, but I said, okay, let me raise up my hand, and then I will see what happens after. So I volunteered, then I ended up being the more on the stakeholder management offsite. So I was responsible for collecting data and making sure that we migrate quality data into the new system. So that's how I landed my current role.
Wow, that is really a story of resilience. And I love the fact that you highlighted that you networked yourself very well. Like networking was a very important part of like how you got to where you are today. And also, you never said this, but I noted that you always put your best foot forward. And whatever you did, you always put yourself into your work. And you know, that's amazing. That's what like everyone should aspire to do. But I wanted to ask you, knowing what you know today, after this whole journey that you've had, what would you tell your teenage self? Like, what advice would you give her?
Yeah, I would tell her no hard work goes unnoticed, because I'm someone who always believed in hard work. If you put work, and then you will see the results. And that really worked while I was still at a school. So as I mentioned that I lost my job after 3 years of internship. So that was devastating, you know. And so what I would tell myself is that just keep moving, just keep pushing. There will be a time in life where everything will come full circle, where everything will make sense. It's like today when I look back and say that no hard work goes unnoticed, everything that I've done, it has opened doors for me. The people that I've met, they have noticed my hard work.
So hard work and perseverance does pay off, and
Yes.
absolutely your belief in God as well. So thanks for those insights. Nosizwe, what in your opinion has led to your success?
Yeah, as I mentioned, definitely hard work and determination, and also patience, because I remember in the project that we were in, it was not easy at all. There were times where we just wanted to give up, because whatever we were doing, it was not yielding results. And also knowing that giving up is not an option, because that's one thing that I've always known, that if I have put my mind on something, then I had to make sure that I see the results. And also lastly, to make sure that people who have opened doors for you, or people who have mentioned your name, they do not regret their decision. So that's one thing that has been, those are the factors that have been success that has made my journey to become a success.
Yeah, I think in this whole like you know what you do to actually achieve your success, what you define as success, I think you most definitely have a passion, and you know like this passion, it's definitely going to encourage other people my age, women in tech. And I just want to know like what, you know, tech is such a broad industry. There's so many different avenues that you can go. But what does one have to do to actually know where to start? Like, what do you have to study to actually be where you are today?
Right, yes. Okay, as I mentioned that I did financial information systems. So that was not more on IT, it was finance and IT, because my dream was always to become an accountant. It's just that I had this interest in IT, but it was not a major thing. That it was not something that I wanted to major in. So when I finished tertiary, then my first job was in IT. So as I always say that IT chose me, not the other way around. So, but I really struggled, especially the early years in IT, because I didn't have strong technical background. I didn't know what methods to use for which code. find, because I believe that you can learn programming anytime. That is easy. You can know how to do it. But the question is why things are done the way they are. So my suggestion would be do a course that will give you a strong technical background, that will give you your why. Because what make programmers unique, it's how efficient the code is. And you only know that when you know your why. So I would advise computer science because it does provide that, but we need to be realistic that there are people who can't really qualify for it, then do IT. And then if maybe you happen to do a course that does not provide that strong technical background, then you can do a course on the fundamentals of computer science and data structures, because that will give you why things are done the way they are. So as I said that currently I am also, last year I also did a course on data structures because I understood that I had limitations. Then if I wanted to outstand and to develop myself, then I had to build strong technical skills.
Wow, I'm so amazed by you, Nosizwe. You don't just put your hand up for the opportunities, but you also make sure that you get in there, understand what are the skills you need to get the job done, and you actually went out there and did a course to help support you do a good job of this opportunity that you took up. So that's definitely a big lesson for all of us. You know, we might study one thing, but when the opportunity arises and you really want to make the most of it, you can always go and learn a couple skills to help you through it. So thanks so much for those insights. So as you know, Nosizwe, Girls in Tech is a global organization with over 60,000 members globally. And we are really proud to open up the South African chapter since the 1st of April last year. What about the South African chapter excites you most? What are you most looking forward to for Girls in Tech South Africa?
I think I'm really looking forward to see women that will develop or come up with solutions that will solve problems for other women. Because as we know that the IT industry has been dominated by males. So we have males who develop solutions for women. So definitely there is a gap there in terms of understanding the problem in depth. So I am really excited about the Girls Tech, because that will empower women to have more tools in terms of solving their problems using their technology. Because by nature, women are problem solvers. So now if you give them tools to solve those problems, then for me, that is freedom or liberation and independency that we seek as women. And as we know that as a country in South Africa, we are lagging behind in terms of adopting 4IR. So this will also drive the adoption rate so that we have more people to support the new technologies that comes with 4IR. Just to share a quick story, I came across a story during the course of the week where a young girl, I think that girl is still in high school, she developed a tool that is more like an earbud that you can use when a person is in danger. So you can just press it and that will alert the police. So it's good to have the women who will develop solutions or who will bring solutions to problems that women face on a daily basis.
Yeah, you've really highlighted like two major gaps from what like I'm hearing, and that's the gap in AI. Like South Africa, and I think globally, a lot of places are behind and they're lagging. But you've also highlighted how it's a male-dominated industry, and males are now solving problems that us women are facing. So I think the only way that we're going to change that is by getting inspirational people like you to prompt us into action and actually make these changes that we're always talking about. And in saying that, I just want to say thank you so much for your insightful inspiration, and I look forward to learning more from you and seeing more of you through your participation in Girls in Tech.
Thanks so much for your inspiring words, Nosizwe. And thanks so much, Kiara, for co-hosting today's session. Have a lovely evening. Bye.
Bye.